Mr. Kurt Blair, TDC.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
You have in your packet today our report and a number of items. First of all, I'll bring attention to the collections report. You'll notice that we are up to date to June. June was a little bit down, but we had anticipated this. It is not a reflection of how we did in June. It's a reflection of where the dates fell for the reporting of the larger rental companies. We're comfortable that we still average a 7% increase over last year, but as I say, June's down a little bit, and that we expect that that'll be corrected in the next couple of months. You have in your packet the grants for the sustaining grant programs. We've got 7 of them this year. They're all at the same level. That is to say, they're all at $20,000. This is a program that the Commission initiated 6 or 7 years ago to help sustain some of the nonprofits that have difficulty staying open all year. And up until this year, we've had 5. About 2 years ago, we added 2 more at $10,000, and we're able to bring those up to the $20,000, so they're all getting the same level this year, and we'd ask for your concurrence of those contracts. Do you want to do that now or after the end of my report?
You want to do it at the end of the report?
Okay. The next item is, I mentioned last month, we've got another hospitality training program scheduled. It's for October 14th at the St. George Island Lighthouse at 1 o'clock. This is a 4-hour class that's done with us and Riverway South and National Hotel and Lodging Association and Goodwill. We've actually had very good response so far. The class is almost full already, and we just started publicizing it about a week or so ago. So we're very optimistic that that'll be another full class. And if you have any suggestions of anybody to participate in it, we'll certainly take those and try to get them involved in the program. We've got some people outside the lodging industry this time. We've got some restaurant people. So we're happy that we're expanding it to a larger number of people. You also received in your packet some advertising that we've been doing, but I wanted to draw attention to a couple of things that were too big to get into the packet. We had some excellent coverage this month in Food and Travel magazine. We've got a 3 or 4 page spread, editorial spread in Food and Travel, which we think is a real good opportunity for the county. It's right along the lines of what we're trying to brand in the county, and we're excited about that. And we also had some repeat presence in American Art Collector. This is as a result of our involvement with the Plein Air Paint Group, and they periodically feature artists that were part of the Forgotten Coast Paint Out. So we continue to get some advantage from that. I also wanted to mention to you that we were delighted to receive this year a Flagler Award from Visit Florida. This is a project that got the award that we did in conjunction with the Apalachicola Bay Chamber. This is a tour mapping system based on GIS coordinates, and it allows for people to get around, follow various and sundry tours around town. And as I say, we did it in conjunction with the Chamber and received an award from Visit Florida on it, from one of the Flagler Awards. So we were really excited about that. And finally, I just wanted to tell you that as an update on the memorial, the Seafood Memorial, we got a grant from Visit Florida to help us do that, get that done this year. So we'll be bringing some suggestions and recommendations to you shortly, and try to move that project along.
And Commissioners, I just realized something the clerk pointed out to me. I messed up. I only put 2. I didn't realize the other 3 didn't upload of the sustaining grants. So
I was gonna ask that question, because that's all I see
That's
is
on
two.
me.
and
Yeah, that was,
He stated there was 7, right?
Is 7 you
there-
have, Kurt?
There are 7.
There was 5 and then 2 on a separate email, correct?
Right.
And that's the problem. I missed the first 5, so I don't know if you want to look it over and then we could
I'd just
approve
like
it
to
at
know
the
what
next
they were,
meeting.
what they are. I
What
would-
are they?
Oh, I guess Kurt could explain them and I could,
Yes.
We have to vote on all of them the same.
They're all 20,000, they're all, the contracts are all the same for each of them. I mean, we have the standard contract for them. The 7 groups, the 5 that we've been funding at 20,000 for the last 5 or 6 years are the Dixie Theater, the Rainey House, the St. George Island Lighthouse, the Carabel Lighthouse, and Camp Gordon Johnson. 2 or 3 years ago, we, in an effort to expand the program, we added 2. We didn't have enough money to do the full 20,000, so we added 2. One was Carabel Cares, which was running the Carabel History Museum, and the other was the City of Apalachicola, which sponsors the History, Art, and Culture Museum, which is the Cotton Exchange, basically, keeping the Cotton Exchange open. Those 2 programs were funded only at 10,000, and we were able to get them up to parity with the other 5 this year, and so they're all being funded at 20,000.
All funded at 20.
Yes.
All right, we're going, got to get a motion on it?
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I do apologize, Commissioner.
Michael?
I'll get them to you back today. You see them.
Michael, were you going to bring up something about the sign with the Fish and Wildlife?
Well, I don't see the Fish and Wildlife person here,
Okay.
so that means they couldn't make it today, so I'll put that off until the next
Okay.
meeting. Because I didn't want to review that until I had someone from FWC here to discuss it
Okay.
before.
Good, well, that's-
Kurt.
Yes, sir,
Will you do me a favor?
I will.
Give Ronnie Segree or Curtis a call or stop by and talk with him.
I've just been able to listen to his
Okay,
CD,
but
and
I
I'll get
would
back
just
to him.
appreciate
soon.
if you're going through or call him
I
today and
will.
let him know something.
All right,
Okay.
He left at the meeting the other day, and he didn't come back until after we adjourned.
Yeah, I talked with him this morning at 7 o'clock. So if you'd get in contact with him,
I
I'd
will.
appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
thank you, Commissioners.
Planning and zoning.
All right, Commissioners, in your packet, you saw the planning and zoning agenda, but in red to the top, there was no quorum again. And that we didn't find out until about 2 or 2:30 that afternoon. Some members couldn't make it, so.
On none of them?
Well, we didn't have enough to even have the meeting, Commissioner. So none of these items have been discussed or reviewed or can be forwarded to you because they just didn't have enough members to show up for the meeting. And I will tell you, as I did, the staff did, we received calls from some of these members. Mr. Michael's out there for ho-hum right now, Mr. Hughes.
I had calls too
Yes,
on a
that's
number
true.
of these people here, and, you know, a lot of them said, well, why can't we just bring it straight to the commissioner? I'd rather not do that, or you're circumventing the process, and I know it's the county board, that it's no fault of the people involved. But my question is, and it may be a question for Alan, you've been part of this for a long time, and you're still here, but, you know, if we can't get a quorum on Tuesday, September the 8th, why couldn't you poll the members and have them come on September the 9th? Or why is it just one day a month that they'll meet and that's it? I mean, when you have this kind of stuff on the agenda, now if it's just a few docs or something, be one thing, but you know, that it puts some critical, puts a bind on some of these people. And several of them come to me and says, well, we just bring it straight to the commissioners. Well, you start that, you start circumventing the process, you know, they're no longer gonna wanna go to Board of Adjustment. They no longer want to go to P&Z, they just want to come straight here. And then you don't have public review of the different projects. So I don't want to get started in circumventing the
I
process.
agree with you, Smokey.
And look, I got
But
a
I
man sitting
do
there ready to go to
understand,
work.
I do understand some of the urgency involved with some of these issues also.
Right, remember, P and Z, they have advertising meetings, and we need to let the public know when we meet. So if there's not a quorum on Tuesday night, then we have to go through a process of trying to figure out when we can meet again, let the public know about this. And, I mean, it's some discretion of the chairman of the P and Z. It so happened to this meeting, and I know some of the details about it. We didn't know when the meeting, when we could get a quorum. I mean, the members who, one was absent, was ill in the hospital, we didn't know when he's gonna get out of the hospital. So we just couldn't reschedule at a time certain on Tuesday. We didn't know. And to this point, I haven't followed up though to know if we even know now. But at that meeting then, we didn't know when we could reschedule because some of the members were, their illnesses and their absences were of unknown length.
And the last one waited until 2, I guess he was out during the day, and he just called in at 2 and said, look, I'm not gonna make it.
So is there some way to set a meeting up between now and the next board meeting, or do these people have to wait a whole nother month, what I'm saying?
Certainly ask the chairman, see if we can. Again, we are down to, we have 6 people, 5, it takes 5 for a quorum. And so if 2 of those 6 can't make it,
You don't have
we're out of
to.
business, we're out of luck.
I know they do it free, I mean, they come,
Well, maybe we need to get some kind of incentive to
yeah,
go and be
something,
on
can
the-
boost them or something to get them here. Can you do that?
No,
Mr. Chairman, I just want to weigh in on this issue of bypassing the Planning and Zoning Commission and coming directly to this board. By your own ordinances, you're not allowed to do that. That would actually be a violation of law, it would be a violation of due process, and you just cannot do that. Now, scheduling special meetings is at the discretion of the chairman of the P and Z board. The issue here is that there are vacant seats on P and Z that need to be filled. If we can get those additional seats filled, then we're more likely, just based on higher numbers, to have a quorum. Right now, you have 9 members on planning and zoning. That's what was established and required in your ordinance. And in order to have a quorum, you have to have 5 of 9. So if you're down to 6, then it's just much more difficult to get a quorum. So
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Can the builder that's building and does the work on the stuff that's on P and Z, can he sit on the board?
I need more
Okay.
information.
The building
Let's not do
inspector
this
you're talking
live.
No, the guy that's doing the building the docks or the
He
houses.
can't vote on his own application.
No, he can't sit on that board.
Well, he can sit on the board, he just has to excuse himself for anything that he's involved with.
Right, and then we run into a situation if you have a builder, we just need to get more information because they certainly cannot vote on their own applications. And if you put people in the industry that have a lot of business before the boards, you may not have solved the problem because you'll still have members having to recuse themselves. But I need more information before I could really make a specific recommendation, but those would
We
be my
need to
general
fill
thoughts.
those slots that were required by that this board made up many years ago. And we just need to fill the slots. Now, I've got my representative on there, so I don't have one to fill, so, but whoever or whatever needs to fill, we need to go ahead and do it. Cause it's like Michael said, we cannot look at this and vote on this without it going through the planning and zoning unless we change everything around.
Right, which is what coming to this conclusion, I said, well, maybe we should change it.
Yeah.
It has its own host of other problems, but I was trying to get the number down to something that was a manageable number.
Well, then, it's like Commissioner Parrish said, he was scared somebody would be left out, like the seafood. and-
Mike, if you
and
would,
stuff
could
like
you
that.
email the commissioners the different categories that these people are?
What makes up- what should
What
make up
makes
the
it
P&Z?
up? Who is actually on the board? What seats need to be filled? And as a fellow commissioners, when you're looking at it, if you see a category that we don't need on there, and looking at Alan's recommendation of getting it down to where we just appoint 1 member from each district, I don't particularly like that because of, and I stated this before. So if you would, send us that information, and there may be a category or 2 that we can eliminate.
Well, I use forestry as an example. Forestry used to be a big industry in the county, it's no longer a big industry, but we have a seat reserved for forestry. There's very few foresters.
Well, when you're doing the rezonings up in the agricultural, 1 per 40 and all, then a forester would be pertinent to sit on the P and Z board. We're not seeing that right now. But there may be another category or other categories that I'll look at, and I request that the other commissioners look at, that might not be so important, so we can get the board down where we can have a shorter number to get the quorum. I mean, I'm willing to look at it, Mike, if you send us information.
And maybe
Show the seats that are full and the seats that are vacant. And all the commissioners come together, and if you know somebody that can fill a seat, I don't care what district they're from.
I was gonna say, and after that, once we see the makeup, we see what's vacant, maybe we advertise the ones that are open and see how that, what
What we
results
can
that bring, and then you guys can make a decision based on what names you see that come in front of you.
Yeah, we need to get it up and see what we got, because we can fill some of them.
We'll do our best to try to
Yeah.
come up with some people to
Yeah.
fill some of the seats or eliminate some of the categories, but, I sat on there back during the prime time of the last big development boom in the county, and every one of those people were pertinent and they were appreciated to be in there on that board to review some of the projects. Right now, it's a lot slower, but, you know, I'm willing to look at it and see what we can do. But, because I feel for the people that's got applications in that, through no fault of their own, we don't have a quorum. So I understand where we're at, and we need to make improvements and move forward.
There is one other alternative for some of the minor stuff. Now, we can't do it today, but some minor stuff now, if you feel comfortable with your staff, having a qualified staff, there might be some changes in what P and Z reviews. And so, an example, dock permits. Maybe P and Z don't need to review dock permits anymore, and just have your staff make a recommendation to you all. There's a way you can change some of the review process so that P and Z is not a bottleneck. Now, they still need to be on rezoning and large-scale stuff, but there might be some smaller stuff. That's another option for you all to consider, is.
That would require an amendment to your
Yes.
ordinance and a public hearing
Yeah,
before
no.
you could do that.
No, I agree.
If that's what the board wanted to do.
Now, is any of these people with, on the agenda, is any of them gonna lose these?
I can't answer that.
I don't, yeah, I couldn't tell you. Attorney Schuler, if they remove members, wouldn't that also require a public
Yes,
hearing?
any changes.
Any changes would
Any
require?
changes to the current makeup of planning and zoning have to be adopted by ordinance after public.
So if, whatever we do everything at one time, if we're gonna make any changes at all,
Of course, it's
basically.
up to the board, but the most efficient remedy would be to fill the seats that are.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the present
I
ordinance.
realize. I know, I just, Commissioner
That's at the
Parrish
will of the board.
was talking about, you know, maybe.
Let's just
like-
get it all up, Michael, see what we gotta fill to get filled, and just see if we can get it where they can work. I got a man sitting out here come today, he's ready to go to work, now he's off another.
And in the interim, let's see if we can't get a planning and zoning meeting in between now and the next board meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, most definitely. So there's some of
I'll
the,
make-
Larry sitting out here
motion
ready to go
that.
to work, and his project's held up today.
I'll make a motion that we direct staff to get up another planning and zoning meeting between now and the first meeting in
As soon as
October.
possible.
And come back with us a planning and zoning report.
All right. Have a motion on the floor, have a second.
second,
All right. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
How long they have to advertise this?
It depends on the request. I'll double check with Amy and see. And see, based on the request, some
They
advertise.
don't advertise in the newspaper, do they?
No, we just have to get everybody knows where the meeting is.
Yeah.
Y'all have to give public notice. I'm just not sure how y'all do that.
Well, since we always meet in the same place, same time.
Yeah, but if you're holding a special meeting, you're going to need to advertise.
Yeah.
Because you
you put it on the
County
radio,
Commission
put
meetings.
a note here on the door.
Yeah, and I put it on the I put it on the website whenever, yes, sir.
But since it's a special meeting on an unplanned day, you do need to.
Yes.
I will. I will.
All right.
Okay, the next item is,
Vote.
excuse me, is the Board of Adjustment.
Vote.
Yeah, we voted.
The Board of Adjustment report is the next item. Ms. Roxy told me there were no objections to any of the three items you have before you. Do you want me to read them out, or
Yeah, please.
you do? Okay, item one was a request for variance to construct a single-family dwelling into the critical habitat zone on a man-made canal and a 2-foot 2-inch variance into the front setback of Carnival Lane and 2-foot 2 variance on the north side setback line on property described as 8 Carnival Lane in Alligator Point.
Hang on, I need to clarify that.
I'm sorry.
The board's policy for variances into the critical habitat zone always require that the footprint of the house be limited to 1,000 square feet. In this case, no living space is encroaching into the habitat, critical habitat zone. You have an encroachment with an open deck. Staff consulted with me, and I gave them the opinion that since the footprint of the house itself was outside the critical habitat zone, that the house did not have to comply with the 1,000 square foot limitation, but I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention in case you had any different feelings on that. But I was comfortable, since only the open space of the deck, it's not an enclosed space, it's open deck, encroaches into the critical habitat.
Is that where they had the contingent of the owner agreeing to reduce the footprint?
Yes, they did make some changes to that.
Yeah, that's the way it was approved with that contingent, sir.
And I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the number one. We need to do this one individual because it's got a contingency on it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve this contingent on what is written down here about the owner reducing the footprint of the deck by 2 foot 2 inches to the north side. And, so I'll make that motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor?
Uh,
All opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 is a request for variance to construct a single-family dwelling 30 feet into the critical habitat zone on the east setback line and 10 feet into the critical habitat zone in the rear setback on a property described as 2474 Highway 98 in Lanark Beach.
Is this around the St. Joe lots that's across from the Catholic Church over in that area?
That's what Gulf Point is.
Yeah, up in that area. That's 30 foot into the critical, 30 foot into the critical?
Into the fifth, and it does have 1,000 square foot footprint, right? I missed that meeting, I wasn't.
I know, that's what I'm,
It must be a ditch on the side of the lot.
Hold on, actually, let me get Ms. Roxy, because she was there, and she could answer that
Okay.
question, because the thing,
cause this, I mean, 30 foot's a pretty good
Yeah, I think
spot.
it's
big-
right there, the
Yeah.
Catholic, right there.
It's a map on your.
It's right in that little area.
It's a map on the iPad.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's right in that bend right there.
I'm trying to say.
2 block B.